Hey everyone, welcome back to yet another consignment update here at Gardner Holgate Auction Rooms for our next sale from the 11th to 14th of March 2025. Last week, if you were looking at that video, we did mention that the consignment deadline was fast approaching. Well, that has now passed, and we were bombarded with probably over 400 guitars in the last 2 days of last week. Now, one of those collections that came in had over 160 guitars just from one collection, and we had no idea what was in the collection before it arrived. So mostly a pleasant surprise, and we will be looking at some of those guitars in that video today, some of the better guitars certainly. And it's quite a nice collection because there's a lot of unusual stuff that we don't see all the time. So do have a look through. A lot of, I guess, heavier rock music orientated, so definitely mine and Chris's type of thing, but there are some very traditional type guitars there as well, so something for everyone. We'll be looking at other consignments that have come in from various different vendors, and then as usual we will be back next week with another consignment update, which will probably be the final one before the auction. Of course, we'll have video demos and things coming up. As usual, if you like this video, please do subscribe to our channel. We'll let you decide at the end whether you'd wish to or not, for those of you who are unsubscribed so far or maybe new viewers to us, and hit the bell icon and hit the like button as well, because it will make sure this video goes out to other like-minded people and ensure you don't miss a future video yourself. There will be a big update to the preview website coming this week, and there will be even more sort of coming up in the following days and week or so. The full catalogue will be coming online about mid-February, with a bit of luck, lots to get through, but we do have, I believe, last count was nearly 700 guitars in this auction, as well as amps and pedals on top of that, studio gear, memorabilia, you name it, we've got it. So lovely, exciting things coming up. Let's take a look. Starting with something a bit quirky. This is a 1960s Teisco SS-3L. The three, meaning the three pickups that we have here. 3 gold foil pickups. Very good, interesting pickups actually. A lot of people really like these. There's companies like Mojo who are sort of recreating these kind of gold foil pickups. Raikuda is one guitarist that uses guitars like this for a lot of his slide work, but it really is a cool piece of Japanese 60s guitar history. Got these rocker switches here that they call microphones, which is quite cool. Tone and volume, on-off switches for each pickup. It's missing its trem, unfortunately, but probably be quite hard sourcing one of those these days, but I'm sure it can be done. Few marks and dings around, as you'd expect for a guitar of this age, but yeah, interesting guitar. And something in the more budget range, 2012 Burny Super Grade Les Paul, and this is actually the Joe Perry model. There we go, 2012, as you can see from the serial number. Some marks and dings, but generally okay. And yeah, like I said, budget range, sort of low to mid hundreds. Burny Super Grade Joe Perry Les Paul. And in here, a Tokai, this time 335 copy. This is actually the ES-385 model, semi-hollow body guitar, so 335 stylings. This has actually been upgraded with some Gibson humbucker pickups, and it's also got some upgraded Cluson type tuners as well. But there we go, 2015, comes with a decent case as well. In here is a brand new guitar. When I say brand new, it's made in 2022, but it's shop stock, ex-shop stock. So this is the Rickenbacker 480 XC 90th anniversary electric guitar. I think it's got a really cool look, really dark sunburst finish, which you don't often see on a lot of Rickenbackers. But there we go. Really cool guitar, original case, all its papers, and basically as new condition. And again, we have another new old stock guitar. It's an ex-shop stock. So brought new by the shop and then never actually sold. So this is a 2020 360 12-string Rickenbacker in the maple glow finish, and as you can see it's in fine condition with its case and papers. Not sure if many would have seen one of these before. This is the first one I've actually seen. So this is a Squier JV Contemporary Series Stratocaster, and it's in pretty good condition. And like I said, I didn't really know a lot about these. It's very recently come in. I'm yet to do any full in-depth research, but from around 1984, you can see there's a bit of a sticker burn on the guard. For those of you out there who are watching this video, if you know a lot of academic information about this guitar, feel free to comment down below. But yeah, it's in fine condition, as you can see. Has this sort of interesting locking nut system. It's certainly a guitar for the heavier tones, so to speak. Hence the locking nut and the bigger pole piece pickups. But there we go. It's a Contemporary Series JV Squier. In here we have a 1974 Gibson SG Standard, and this is in great condition. There's a few minor dings to the finish, a few surface scratches, but generally very, very good. There we go. Has the volute being a 70s guitar. There we go, 70s type head. The block inlays on the ebony board on this model. But yeah, fine condition indeed. Comes with a little tag booklet as well. Comes with a case that is of the period, so possibly original to the guitar, we don't know. But it's certainly always been with the guitar ever since the current owner has owned it for many years. Cool guitar. And in here is another old Gibson in its original semi-rigid case. And there we go, 1965-66 Gibson Melody Maker in the cherry finish. It's in reasonable condition. Some neck wear, obviously been stood against an amp or something quite a lot and it's chipped the paint away, but there's some lacquer checking. But I think, considering its age, that is in fairly good condition. And a nice quirky guitar, and a great, I think, way to enter into the vintage buying market, as these tend to realise around £1,000 hammer. So yeah, good instrument in its original case. In here we have a 2009 Gibson Les Paul Studio in ebony finish, in very good condition. There's a bit of minor buckle marking there, little small patch, but otherwise very good. Good decent guitars if you are after a Les Paul and you don't mind not having all the binding, because that's pretty much, well, one of the main differences anyway. Fretboard's quite pale on this one, so from an aesthetic point of view, some people may not like that, but I'm sure it still plays the same. In fact, it does. It'll play just as well. There we go. 2009 Gibson Les Paul Studio. So in here we have a Fender Jazzmaster. There we go. Late, I believe this is around 1989, or certainly no later than early 90s. It does have some mods. It's essentially been Montyfied, Monty's guitars, so it's got a pair of Leviathan Jazzmaster sized P90 pickups, and we've got a mastery bridge. It's got all Monty's electrics inside, so an improvement it will be. And we've also got these locking hip shot tuners as well. So it's a great instrument with some great mods. These pickups sound fantastic, and I think it's got a cool look with the black pickups of the black hardware. Something a bit different. Not your everyday Jazzmaster. In here we have another Zemaitis guitar for the auction. Big old guitar from 1966. This is a 12-string acoustic, and it does need some work, but we will have a look quickly. Maple back and sides. Got this mahogany neck with this massive paddle headstock. There we go. That is quite nicely veneered to the front. Got this big guard, but if you look at the top there, the bridge is starting to come away, and there is a bit of bellying there, so it will need some work. Do find it quite interesting on the label. It says light to medium gauge strings, tune no higher than 3 frets below concert. It's quite low tuning, but made March 1966, or completed March 1966, as a Zemaitis 12-string acoustic guitar. One for those hard rockers. I'm saying that as if that's not my favourite genre of music. Punk, metal, rock and everything in between. But this is a 1980s Tokai Fivestar electric guitar. We can see the market that they were trying to cater for with this one, moving away from their traditional Strat copies. But yeah, there we go. Very much, I guess Charvel did sort of guitars of this nature around this time. I believe we've actually got one in the cell, yeah, which we may see a bit later. But there we go, the Tokai Fivestar electric guitar. So giving you a 2-for-1 with Framus. We've got, you're not actually going to get 2 guitars in one lot, I will add. But we've got a Framus Hollywood electric guitar. These are nice cool double cut guitars from the 1960s, this one. Single pickup in the neck position. So perhaps not the most versatile guitar, but nice lightweight, thin body, and certainly looks the part. Don't have them that often in the cell. And then here, which is a model that probably more of you have seen with the association to Bill Wyman. This is a Framus Star bass. This one's from 1964, and it's in pretty decent condition. I mean, well, when I say it's in decent condition, there are knocks and marks, but it is all working, which is a rare treat for some of these, and there's no sort of major issues with it. So there we go, 1964 Framus Star. We have an early Ibanez lawsuit era guitar. This is from 1975, and it's essentially a 345 type guitar with the rotary switch on the front. But yeah, decent guitars. We've got a lot of early Ibanez Japanese and other Japanese guitars in the cell, some of which we will see in this video. But another cool guitar. The thing I do like about this, opposed to the Gibson equivalents, is it's nice and lightweight. And speaking of Japanese guitars, vintage Japanese guitars, we have a 1979 Greco Speedway, typical Japanese design. We've got this Senash wings, walnut finish Senash wings, the maple through neck, but very nice guitar indeed. Quality is just incredible. A lot of the Japanese guitars from this era, almost unrivaled quality, and really nice, cool, quirky guitar, and won't break the bank, these mid-hundreds usually. A collaboration between Hagstrom and D'Aquisto, Mr. James D'Aquisto. This is the Hagstrom Jimmy model, and yes, a D'Aquisto designed archtop for Hagstrom, made in Sweden. So vintage appeal and D'Aquisto appeal, and you don't often see them around. I think I've had one other in memory in the last 15 or so years, but another cool, quirky vintage guitar. So in here we have a Washburn guitar, but this is actually a US made Washburn in the custom shop factory, and this is from 1997. It's the P3 model. Very, very good quality guitar. Comes with its original case. Got Seymour Duncan in the bridge, which I'm pretty sure is not stock. But mahogany body, natural mahogany body. Interesting shape as well. Not your standard sort of Les Paul thing, although I guess it is a take on a Les Paul. 1 volume, 1 tone with the switch. But really, really is a fantastic quality instrument and lesser spotted. First one we've had, that's for sure. Another Washburn guitar. We've got quite a few Washburn guitars in this cell, all from one collection. This is the Steve Stevens model. For those of you who don't know who Steve Stevens is, Billy Idol's guitarist, and also was known for the lead guitar work on the Top Gun theme. But there we go, the SS-40 model. This is one of 2 Steve Stevens signature guitars we have. We do have a Hamer guitar as well, which we may see later. It may actually come in the following video. Can't remember how many we've got to go through today. But yeah, Washburn Steve Stevens model, decent condition, and all appears to be stock. I do like these Squier guitars. This is the classic vibe, so more of a modern guitar, saying that it's 2012, so we're getting on 13 years old now. But classic vibe series, Telecaster custom in this white finish with the black binding. I think it's a classy looking guitar. Upgraded Seymour Duncan pickup there, as you can see. But very, very good quality guitars, and yeah, can't really go wrong. So here we have a lesser spotted Epiphone. This is the SG Custom Prophecy. I remember when these first came out, I was always looking at them because around this time I was playing in heavy metal bands quite a lot. But you've got these this EMG active set there, and what I do like about this guitar is even though you've got this sort of quilted maple looking gloss finish, the neck has been satined, which is really nice to feel in the hand. I'm not a huge fan of gloss necks anyway, but there we go, it's in good condition. Nice high output Gibson, or Epiphone should I say, SG, and I think the SG is my personal favourite model. Closely alongside an Explorer, but there we go. A lot of guitar for the money. This is a Korean-made PRS Soapbar II. So we've got the two P90 type pickups, which really are fantastic pickups. Are good in between single coils and humbuckers, but really do have qualities of their own. Black gloss finish, and these tend to hammer around £200. That really is a lot of guitar for the money. Comes with its original gig bag. There we go. And a Mexican Fender Strat that isn't often seen. This is the Deluxe Fat Strat HSS spec. There we go. It's got the spaghetti type logo as well on this one, from 1995. And yeah, you've got the coil switch there to split the coil on the humbucker, but a decent guitar that does have a lot of versatility tone-wise, and probably will come in at hammer price between £300 and £400. So again, a lot of guitar for the money. And here we have a now vintage Fender from 1978. This guitar did come in pieces, and it's been lovingly put back together by Chris. There we go. I think it's got a cool look, the way the finish is yellowed. Some people will hate it, but I quite like these guitars having this certain kind of mojo. You can tell it's been used. Is it screaming to be Cobained? Maybe not, because that would involve making it non-original. But this is the kind of guitar he would have chosen to modify. But yes, it's all original. 78 pots, pickups all original. All the numbers match. And there we go. If you like your smaller, I guess, entry-level type Fender guitars, that's not a bad option at all, and it is a good guitar. And more guitars for the heavy metal inclined. This is the LTD by ESP, of course, KH603, so the Kirk Hammett 603. You've got the spider inlays, skull and crossbones to the upper frets. There's a bit of a large knock on the side, but otherwise it's pretty good. The pickups have been changed, so they are not original. But yeah, if you're into Metallica, then there you go. You can have the signature guitar of one of your idols, Korean-made 2002, and like most guitars that have any relation to Metallica, this will probably fly out. They always do, and there's something quite interesting coming up next. Sticking with the Metallica theme with this one, don't often see these guitars around, and of course this one more aimed at the James Hetfield stylings, of course known for using Explorer type guitars more so, and this is the Grassroots subsidiary of ESP. Now ESP, they did make the MX series guitars. Essentially it was a model that was made for James Hetfield, but Gibson soon put a stop to that, and then shortly after, the GMX guitars by Grassroots came out. So James Hetfield stylings, so this will be a very, very popular guitar. These have rocketed in value recently, especially as the ESP MX series guitars sell for, I think, 5 figures now, don't they? Very, very rare indeed. So yeah, for you Metallica fans or Explorer fans, I love them. I would love to own this myself, but I'm sure my pocket is not going to be as strong as some hardcore Metallica fans. I am a fan myself, but probably don't have the pockets to stretch to buying it. But yeah, great guitar, not often seen, and yeah, perfect James Hetfield riff machine. Got quite excited when this came in because I saw the case and knew exactly what model it was going to be, because it's something that I'm after, but I want a white or a black one, and it's a natural one. So for the traditionalists who might prefer the natural sort of Carina type wood, this would be a preference. But yeah, sticking with the Explorer theme, we do have a Gibson, this one from 2011, and it's in great shape. Don't think there's really a mark on it. Comes with its original case. If you can't afford the Gibson, we have the Epiphone equivalent, although slightly earlier guitar, this one from 2007, but exactly the same type of stylings, a natural finish, and again in very good condition. And if you can't afford the Epiphone, then this may suit a Chinese Tokai Explorer in this rather striking green finish, but pretty good guitars, good copies. Certainly has the look if you're after an Explorer type guitar. We've got a bit of a finished floor on the edge here, but otherwise it's okay. We mentioned earlier with that 80s Tokai guitar that we had a Charvel. Well, here it is. This one's from 2006. So this is a US Charvel HH Star model. There we go, as it says on the back, HH Star in blue, in this striking electric blue finish. Nice, I guess, satin finish maple neck. It's a nice fast neck. Comes with the Floyd Rose and the locking nut with its original case. A quick break from the pointy guitars. We have a Godin, so made in the US from Canadian parts, and this is the SD model, HSS spec, and in decent condition. Here we have a Hank Marvin signature guitar, one of many Hank Marvin signatures we got in. We do have one of the very rare Fender Custom Shop 1 of 40 guitars in this sale as well, which we will feature in a future video. But this is the Squier version, made in Japan. It's supposed to be Fiesta Red finish, more than this Heinz Tomato Orange. But there we go, it's in great condition anyway. Good guitar. So we have a 2011 Epiphone Nighthawk custom reissue guitar. Essentially the Epiphone equivalent of the Gibson. We do have one of the Gibsons in the sale, which we may see in this video a bit later on. But there we go, in fantastic condition once again. Birth year guitar for me in here, a 1986 Schecter Strat. There we go, and in this sort of coral or peach metallic finish. And there was the relationship, of course, between David Schecter and Chandler's in the UK, sort of putting these guitars together from, you know, the parts would be shipped over and then they'd be constructed in the country that they'd arrive in. But very, very well made Strat type guitars. The only shame with this one is we are missing the trem arm, and that looks like a fairly bespoke trem arm. I'm sure you can get them, but I'd imagine it would be quite expensive. Who knows? But had some kind of locking string system there, or string tree, which has since been removed. But there we go, 1986 Schecter Strat. And we saw the Washburn Steve Stevens model, and I mentioned we had a Hamer. Well, there it is, the Hamer Steve Stevens signature. There we go, US made guitar. And yeah, it's got this metallic pearl, white pearl finish. There's been some chips and marks around, but generally good, and another lesser seen guitar. So in here we have a US made Carvin. This is, as far as I can make out, a DC135 model. The reason I say as far as I can make out is because when you try and compare these models, they all tend to have slightly differing specs. So some of them I've seen with bolt-on necks, some of them I've seen neck through, but the general consensus is they're all DC135. Someone did tell me once that Carvin did sort of very much make guitars on spec and by order, hence why there could be some differences. But there we go. I don't believe this is a Carvin pickup. I believe that's a replacement. It's not the type of humbucker I usually see. But other than that, it appears to be in fairly good condition. We are missing the top locks for the nut, but it does come with this Carvin Kayla type trem and another US made Carvin, and this is a really classy looking Carvin and very high quality indeed. This is a TL60, so we've got this natural tele type body with the 3 rail single coil pickups. There we go, maple through neck. And yeah, I think this is a really smart guitar. And the one thing I will say about Carvin guitars is they're not hugely popular, so price-wise they tend to come in at reasonable money. And when I say reasonable, I'm talking mid-hundreds, you know, maybe £500 to £800 hammer. And that is an incredible guitar for the money, all handmade, Carvin in the USA. Great guitar with its original case. In here, another US-made guitar, this time another Hamer, and this is the Hamer Special with the 2 humbucker pickups, the 3 in a row controls, and again, another very good quality guitar in quite a striking green colour with this quilted top. Incredible guitars. You should always try a Hamer if you get the chance. There won't be a huge amount of people who realise that Larrivee did make electric guitars, and this very much catering for the popular hair metal music of the era. So this guitar is younger than me, older than our cameraman CJ, made in 1988, and this is the LS-4 model in this really striking red finish, but it comes with this Floyd Rose licensed trem. Looks like we've got a Damasio humbucker in the bridge position there, but good quality guitar from Larrivee. And again, a bit like the Carvin guitars, these can come in at sort of mid-hundreds, so very buyable, but something quirky, and comes in a vintage, I believe, Charvel case. Yeah, there it is. So in here we have a JV Squier, Squier Stratocaster 50s style 1982 in this 2-tone sunburst finish. What's that? 2-tone sunburst finish. I've just said it again. Must have been all that spinach I had for breakfast. There we go. 1982 2-tone sunburst finish. JV Squier Strat. And this guitar is all original. Not an original case though. A little bit battered. Obviously seen a life, but they are very good guitars, so I'm not surprised that it's been used a lot. So here we have an Ibanez, and this is an Iceman. This is the IC400 from 2006, Korean made, black finish, all stock by the looks of it. And here we have another 57 reissue JV Squier. This one is slightly later than the previous one we saw. This is from 1984, comes in a black finish, lots of marks and wear. Again, a well-used guitar, quite rightly so, as we know they are fantastic instruments. So 1984 JV Squier Strat. And then here we have an American Standard Telecaster in the sunburst finish, this one from 2003. So if you just want a solid standard Telecaster, there's a good option for you. And in here we have a Fender Deluxe Series. This is a Player Stratocaster, and this one's from the year 2000. There we go, got the spaghetti logo there. We've got this sort of see-through blonde finish. We've got the switching here as well. I'm guessing that this does a similar idea to the now S1 switching that is now integrated within the control knob. Correct me if I'm wrong, but good quality guitar. And we don't often see these. I've only had a couple over the many years we've been doing this. And as I mentioned earlier, we had the Epiphone Nighthawk, and here is the Gibson Nighthawk. The Nighthawk Custom, really good condition this one, really highly figured amber top there, a few marks on the back from some buckle knocking, but otherwise very good. This one's from 1996. and for £1,000 hammer and a little bit more possibly, it's a very good guitar indeed. Here we have another 80s JV Squier, this time with a difference, very heavily modified. So we've got this Kahler trem added, and the body has been adjusted to fit it in. And of course, because of the Kahler trems there, we don't need the springs, so they've put the active circuitry for the EMG pickups in the back there. Smartly done, I think. Comes with this locking nut system. That one's a bit damaged on the lower strings there, but I think a nice, cool, quirky JV Squier, modified for some heavier rock music. So we saw the Godin SD model earlier, and this is the slightly higher appointed SD XT. So it's got this quilted top, so it's all slightly higher spec'd. Another good guitar, made in the US from Canadian parts. In this Gibson case, it's not a Gibson but a PRS. This is a PRS Classic model from 1989, so an early PRS guitar, and you don't really see these around that often. Maple board, you can see how much it's been played. It's had this piezo bridge installed. Some of you may remember the June sale last year. We sold Ian Benson's collection, and he had one of his PRS guitars with the piezo bridge in place. But there we go, you can see lots of wear on the back of the neck. And if you are after a PRS case, we do have an early PRS case in our spares section, one of the blue lined ones. Quite rare cases actually now, and amazingly collectible, the cases themselves. But there we go, a 1989 PRS Classic. And here a much more traditional guitar, a 2012 Fender American Vintage Telecaster. And aside from a small ding on the edge there, it's in fantastic condition. It's a really nice weight as well, nice light weight, but it comes with its case, all its documentation, and the usual tags and accessories in the case. So apart from that one ding, you could almost say it's in as new condition. And here we have a 1983 Aria Pro 2 Cardinal Series CS400 electric guitar. These have become really popular in recent years. I think basically down to the build quality. Fantastic build quality. There we go, we've got the set neck design there, and with all this switching, coil switching and everything, a very versatile guitar indeed. The American Vintage Telecaster doesn't quite suit your budget, and a more budget friendly Mexican made 2006 Player Telecaster. Again, fantastic guitars with the see-through blonde finish, nice slightly bigger 50s type neck. So if you do like bigger necks and like maple board Telecasters, that might be the one for you. And this guitar almost has the perfect spec for me. One pickup, one knob. Maybe a Floyd Rose too far. But this is a Charvel Model 2 in this metallic blue finish. Various dings and surface marks, but otherwise pretty good. You can see it's got some wear on the fretboard as well, so someone has loved it and played it. But here it is, ready for a new home. And this is a really interesting guitar. This is a G40V by Washburn, and as you can see, we've got this large pickup, but you can see it's sort of three single coils together to make this one big monstrous pickup. And you've got these very satisfying arcade type on and off switches for each coil. Really interesting idea. Comes with this fairly unique trem system as well. But yeah, really interesting guitar. And I don't think we've ever had one before. And here we have a Korean made PRS SE Tremonti, Mark Tremonti signature. And I think, like most PRS SE guitars, especially in the auction when you can pick them up for £200 to £300 hammer, a lot of guitar for the money, especially if you were trying to recreate your idol, if Mark Tremonti is your guitar idol. He is one of my favourite guitarists, and we do have a missing tuner head there, unfortunately, but other than that, it's good to go. So there we go, ladies and gents. I hope you enjoyed that consignment update. I think you'll all agree there was a lot of variety, a lot of things that we will have never seen before because they are firsts for us as well. So this auction is the 11th to 14th of March. Have a look at guitarauctions.com on the preview website because we will be doing a big batch upload at the end of the week, which should be perfectly timed for the release of this video. And then the full catalogue will be available later on in the month. And we will be taking some of these guitars up to the Birmingham Guitar Show as well. So yeah, do go to that if you're available on that first weekend of March. A great event. We will be there exhibiting. Come over and say hi. I won't be there, but CJ will. So you will be able to say hello to him and talk about guitars, everything guitar auctions. But please do remember to subscribe to our channel, hit the like button and the bell icon, and we look forward to seeing you again next week.